Alright, greetings everybody, and welcome to the third and final shelf of the first shelf of horror here on the Media Files. Yeah, so everything that was on the third shelf down there has been brought up here to the mid shelf. So that way it's just easier for me to show everything off. So, let's not waste any time. This shelf is basically nothing but complete randomness. So, yeah, we're not going to waste any time. Let's get things going. Right now, here on the Media Files. Alright, so like I said, we have got a lot to go through and whatnot. So, first things first, we have Tucker and Dale versus Evil. This movie is hilarious. If you've never watched it, check it out. Because it throws you a loop, but it is absolutely hilarious. Starring Alan Tudyk from Firefly. And then we have the 2-disc special edition of Event Horizon on DVD. Great movie. Then we have The Collector from the writers of the second Saw trilogy. Then we have the Red Riding trilogy, featured with the movies 1974, 1980, and 1983. Then we have The Wicker Tree, which is basically kind of like a spin-off or somewhat of a sequel of The Wicker Man. Yeah. Then here we have the modern day retelling or different version of the Invasion of the Body Snatchers entitled The Invasion. Then we have the third film in the Jordan Peele horror trilogy. We have Nope. So here we have Dead Silence. Now, this particular version is actually the R-rated cut. The unrated cut actually has different artwork on the back, and it says unrated right there. Let's see. Then we have Midsummer from Ari Aster. I've not watched this yet, nor have I watched Hereditary. Then we have The Dark and the Wicked from the director of The Strangers. Yeah, I've not seen this yet. It's actually sounded interesting. I'm like, oh, it's the guy who did The Strangers. I remember that. Then, of course, we have everybody's favorite comic book vampire, Morbius. Yeah, I really should probably get this on Blu-ray because, obviously better picture quality, and I know it's not that great, but I'm like, what are you going to do? Then, of course, we have Blade, House of Cheon. Yeah, basically the movie version of the TV series and whatnot. Basically, it's just an extended version of the pilot episode. Then we have Mr. Brooks, starring Kevin Costner and, of course, Dane Cook. Yeah, his first ever kind of horror thriller movie. And I'm like, sweet, because I was huge into Dane Cook at the time when this came out. Then we have Priest, starring Paul Bettany. I know it's not really, horror per se, but I like to keep it in there because it has somewhat, some horror, action aspects. And, also co-starring Carl Urban. I forgot he was in this movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. Then we have The Frankenstein Theory. Of course, we have one of 80's best characters ever. We have Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. You can pause and stare all you want, and then unpause when you're done. Then we have the somewhat sequel to House of Wax. We have Mystery of the Wax Museum. Yeah, actually, I think this is kind of like a... No, this actually came out way before. This is from the 30s, yeah, starring Fay Wray from the original King Kong. Then we have Donnie Darko, the director's cut. Great movie. Then we have Michael Bihn's film debut as a director in The Victim, also written by Michael Biehn, and of course Jennifer Blanc. That's Mrs. Hicks to you. So yeah, there you go. Then we have with Brad Pitt in World War Z. It's been forever since I've seen that movie. Then we have, of course, Them. We have Arnold in End of Days. Then we have the debut directorial film of David Hayter in Wolves, starring Jason Momoa. It's kind of like, it's a werewolf movie. It's kind of a bit of an actioner, kind of, but it's all right for what it is. But hey, I mean, come on. Solid Snake directed that movie. Then we have some classic sci-fi horror. We have the Ray Harryhausen collection, which features It Came From Beneath the Sea, Earth versus the Flying Saucers, and of course 20 Million Miles to Earth. Great series. And what's awesome about these is that they're both in black and white and in color, which was awesome. And I think I have the Blu-ray of Earth versus the Flying Saucers, and you can swap between the black and white and the color at any time you want. Then we have Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby. Yeah. Never actually seen it all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of it. But then we have the remake starring Zoe Saldana of Rosemary's Baby. They made-for-TV miniseries. Then we have a very, very underrated horror film. And I wish that the sequel would come out. But here we have Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, which is awesome because it even has Freddy Krueger in here, Robert Englund. And of course, Zelda Rubinstein from the original Poltergeist. Then we have The Forgotten. Then we have, it's not really a horror movie, but we have Gods and Monsters, starring Ian McKellen and Brendan Fraser. Now, the reason why I have this in my horror section is because this movie basically kind of somewhat coincides with the making of the Universal Monsters series. Yeah, I talked about director James Whale and about his frustrations about trying to get Frankenstein and the Invisible Man made and all this and that, but it's, I like to keep it in the horror section because, well, it's about James Whale. Then we have some random movie that I found. Here we have Ride. I don't really know if it's a horror film or not, but it just sounded like, the creepy, Hitcher, car revenge type movie or something like that. Then we have a dollar movie that I found. It just sounded interesting. With the slipcover, we have 30 Miles from Nowhere. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I love the artwork on this. It's awesome. Like a, haunted house or, a cabin in the woods type of thing. Then we have The Reaping. Yeah, starring Hilary Swank with the slipcover too, which is all embossed and everything. That's awesome. I love the fact that I found this on the with the steel book. Good Lord, with the slipcover. Then we have Cold Creek Manor, with a big name cast, starring Dennis Quaid, Sharon Stone, and Stephen Dorff. Directed by Mike Figgis, who's actually has lots of really cool behind the scenes features on this, because it actually shows him actually editing the movie, which is kind of cool too at the same time. Because not only did he direct it, but he also did the music for it as well, and also edited the movie. So there you go. Then we have Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Yeah. Written by Sam Graham-Smith, who also did Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Then we have 47 Meters Down Uncaged. This is the second movie in the series. First movie had Mandy Moore in it. That was actually pretty good. Then we have Mirrors 2 with this really cool 3D slipcover. Or no, lenticular cover. Yeah. And also has the original classic that it was inspired by, which is Into the Mirror, which it's actually on a flipper disc, believe it or not. Yay, flipper discs. Alright, then we have a triple feature with The Legacy, The Sentinel, and S. Yeah, what can I say? It sounded interesting. You know, hey, 3 movies. Got this for like a quarter, so like, okay. Then we have the unrated version of the Prom Night remake. Yeah. Good old remakes. Then we have from Neil Jordan, the director of Interview with the Vampire, we have In Dreams. Yeah, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Annette Bening. Then we have a small little musical. Yeah, we have Sweeney Todd with starring Angela Lansbury. I'm like, Angela Lansbury did Sweeney Todd? Okay. Mrs. Potts. It's making some meat pies. Wonder if she ever served the Beast some meat pies in the R-rated cut of Beauty and the Beast. That'd be hilarious to see. Then we have The Swarm. Up next, we have Nicolas Cage in H.P. Lovecraft's Color Out of Space. I have not seen this yet, but I always been intrigued by it just because of the 80s, look of the front cover and whatnot, and it just looks like an awesome movie. Up next, we have Don't Say a Word, featuring Michael Douglas. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Hitchcockian type of thriller, so it goes in the horror. Then we have an anthology film entitled VHS. Now, I know they've released, I think there's about 6 of these by now, so I really need to get the rest of them to complete the VHS series. Up next, we have one of the funniest zombie movies ever made. We have Shaun of the Dead. I mean, this movie needs no introduction by now. I mean, come on. If you have not seen this yet, you're missing out. Then we have House at the End of the Street, starring Jennifer Lawrence. I think this whole movie's made to look like it's supposed to be in like one shot or something like that. So, yeah. Have yet to watch it because it's still in shrink wrap. Then we have Lake Placid, the final chapter. Then we have some comedy. We have Tyler Perry's Boo 2 A Medea Halloween. Yeah, I have not watched this one yet. I've seen the first one. But, I mean, come on, you gotta have a little bit of Medea in your collection. Then we have R.I.P.D. 2 Rise of the Damned. Yeah, the sequel to the movie, which I have not actually watched this yet, but I heard it's not that great. Then we have from legendary director Terry Gilliam, we have the 2-disc collector's edition of Tideland. Yeah, I've never heard of this. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's got Jeff Bridges in it. It's got the dude. So there we go. Alrighty, so we're going to take care of the things that's up in the back here real quick, and then we will bring the back cover up towards the front. Alright, so up next with these, we have Altered, from the director of the Blair Witch Project. Then we have Feast 2, Sloppy Seconds. And Feast 3, The Happy Finish, which completes the Feast trilogy. Okay. Then up next, we have The Hunt, starring Hilary Swank. Then we have Wolf Cop. Yeah, I really need to get the second one to complete this series. I've not watched it yet. It looked like a lot of fun, like a big old retro to like the 80s or whatever. Then we have Plan 9, which is kind of like a somewhat of a rebootish retelling of the Ed Wood film Plan 9 from Outer Space. This is the edition that you would like to get if you are a big fan of James Rolfe. Yeah, of the Angry Video Game Nerd. He makes an appearance in this movie as, I think, a cop or something like that. I have yet to watch it. But, So, if you're a big fan of AVGN, find this version of Plan 9 from outer space. Alright. Then we have an 80s classic. We have House. I need to get the second one. And we have the DVD version of Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Then we have the anime live action adaptation of Blood the Last Vampire. And we have When a Stranger Calls Back, the sequel to the original When a Stranger Calls. Alrighty, so let me move everything from here out of the way, and we will finish up the third shelf. Alright, so here we go, the final section of the first shelf. So first off, we go a little old school. We have A Bucket of Blood. Yeah, kind of like directed by Roger Corman. Let's see. Then we have The Forest with the slipcover, mind you. Up next, we have The Cloverfield Paradox, which is the third film in the Cloverfield series. And we have Nicolas Cage in Mandy. I have yet to watch this. I heard it's really, really good. One of his better movies from his later career. Then we have the Platinum series of The Lawnmower Man, which I have yet to actually watch. I know it's not really horror per se, but, hey, that looks kind of horror-ish to me. Then we have Amity Confidential, which is the bonus feature disc that was in the original Amityville trilogy box set released in the early 2000s, which has 3 documentaries about the Amityville horror, and there you go. So up next, some random movie I found. Lizzie. Yeah, basically it's about the murder of Lizzie Borden. Never heard of it. I'm like, okay. Mind you, it was one of those Blu-rays that I got where it was buy 15 movies for $5 or something. So I'm like, sweet, I'll just grab and go. Then we have The Curse of La Llorona, which is technically, it's not really part of the Conjuring universe. It's not really, I mean, it is, but it isn't. But it's got the slipcover on there of the witch. So there you go. Up next, we have a double feature, some old school sci-fi. We have the Beast of 20,000 Fathoms, and of course another edition of of them. Good lord, I can't even read. Then we have a DVD, Annabelle Creation, which I'm planning on getting rid of because I now have on Blu-ray. Then we have Deep Star 6. It looked creepy enough, so I'm like, why not? So, speaking of creepy, but this is an awesome creepy, we have Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. This movie kicks so much ass left and right. It really does. I mean, yes, I know it's kind of stupid because you're taking one of the most known presidents of all time, and you're basically making him a vampire hunter. But for all we knew, then maybe that's what he basically did in his spare time. For all we know. But yeah, I seriously doubt that he actually did do that. But still, this movie is awesome, by the way. Check it out. Then we have, from the 80s, we have April Fool's Day. Yeah, I have not actually seen this, so, I'm going to say, it was one of those movies that I found, for 15 for $5 or whatever. Okay, now we have one movie from, it's not, unfortunately, it's downstairs, his collection is, but here we have from the Rob Zombie collection, we have The Haunted World of El Super Beasto. Okay, so, yes, this is a cartoon, but this is a cartoon definitely not for kids, because it is big-time adult, and my god, is hilarious. There's some of the stuff that happens, I can't really say on YouTube, because, well, you have to watch it to believe it, because it's just downright hilarious. Oh. Alright, so then up next we have The Haunted World of El Super Beasto. Yeah, Now, yes, it is a cartoon, but it is a Rob Zombie cartoon, and it is definitely not for kids. Oh, yeah. But it is just downright hilarious, and it is a must watch if you're looking for something really hilarious and absolutely absurd. So then we have Zombieland. Yeah, this movie is awesome. Yeah, what can I say? It's got Woody Harrelson and Twinkies. So there you go. Great, great movie and whatnot. Absolutely hilarious. And then we have on 4K, we have Zombieland Double Tap, which I have not actually seen yet. The sequel to Zombieland. I can't wait to watch it. Then we have The Girl with All the Gifts. Yeah, now this is actually it's a zombie movie, which I didn't think it was, but it actually is. Best zombie movie since 28 Days Later, according to RadioTimes.com. I'm like, okay. Then up next we have The Dawn. Then we have what I like to call my small horror YouTube section. Yeah, basically, just movies that were done by YouTubers that have been released. Next three, well, they need no introduction, but here we have Cinematic Catastrophes, the first DVD release from Cinemassacre.com, featuring several short films and documentaries from James's early days as a filmmaker. Then we have Legend of the Blue Hole, the Jersey Odysseys, as well as the Head Incident. Then we have The Deader, the Better. Yeah, all of these are great. If you can actually manage to get your hands on them, please support, independent filmmakers and, get their content. Especially this guy. So here we have a film entitled Methodic, directed by Chris R. Notarali. I apologize for butchering your name, Chris. If you ever watch this, his YouTube channel goes by the name of Blinky 500 because his production company goes by the name of Blinky Productions, and this movie is awesome. I mean, because here it is, you got a character by the name of the Doll Man, which is the movie is obviously very heavily inspired by Halloween, but it has its own little, his own little kind of take or spin on it. But what can you say? When you have an inspiration, you can actually make something really cool. Check it out. Now, I don't know if you can actually find that anymore. I actually found that at I'm not sure exactly where I found it. I think I found it at a video store just randomly one day, and I'm like, okay, I remember that. But yeah, also check out his YouTube channel as well. Then we have Oculus. I hate the fact it's got this library crap all over it. What can I say? It's got Katie Sackhoff in it, so there you go. Then we have the 2-disc limited edition of From Hell. Yeah. Now, reason why I have it in this case is because, well, it's in a Blockbuster case. That's right. Long live the Blockbuster. Then, of course, we have everybody's favorite prequel. We have Red Dragon. Yeah, of course, this is the collector's edition. Now, I do have another edition of this movie, which you'll see downstairs in another video. I think it's part of the franchise horror. Then we have a really cool documentary entitled 100 Years of Horror, hosted by Christopher Lee. Yeah, this was awesome. Loads of stuff on here, interviews and whatnot, and, what can I say? It's a Mill Creek release. Well, hey, come on, what can I say? It's Christopher Lee. That's all you need to know. Then you have The Cabin in the Woods. This movie is awesome. It's been forever since I've watched it. Then we have the 2-disc edition of Hannibal, the original DVD release. Then we have a double feature with Swim Fan and Joyride. Yeah, Joyride is awesome. Swim Fan, not so much. Then we have one of my favorite horror, not really horror, but it's more of like a thriller movie. We have Russell Crowe in Unhinged. This is what I like to call a road rage movie because it's literally what it is. But I don't know whoever did the sound design for certain sequences of this movie. It's like his truck is like a pissed off Jaws, basically, is what it is. But it's so good though. Sound design is amazing on that movie. I don't know why, but whoever did it, kudos to you. Then we have The Strangers on Blu-ray. Then we have a Wes Craven classic, Red Eye. Yeah, one of his PG-13 movies, but this one's really, really good. Starring Rachel McAdams and, of course, Cillian Murphy. So good. So then up next, we have The Nightingale, written and directed by the director of The Babadook. Yeah, directed by Jennifer Kent. Fairly newcomer, but, what can I say? I'm curious to what she's going to do next, because I'm really enjoying her body of work. It's kind of rare that you really see, women directors, especially, in the realm of horror, which is kind of interesting. Then we have Creep 2, which I have not watched because I really want to watch the first one if I can find it. Then we have, from Academy Award winning director Bong Joon-ho, we have the 2-disc collector's edition of The Host. Yeah, it's kind of a creature feature, but I put it in there because it's a horror movie. So there you go. Then we have a remake. We have The Crazies, yeah, starring Timothy Olyphant from, of course, Justified, and of course I remember seeing him in the remake of Gone in 60 Seconds. Then we have The First Deadly Sin, starring Frank Sinatra and, of course, Faye Dunaway. Kind of a thriller type of movie, but not really. Haven't seen it yet, so we'll have to see. Fortunately, that was Frank's final film before he passed. Then we have The Gates of Darkness. Yeah, with the slipcover, mind you. I found this at Dollar Tree. Still unopened, as you can tell, because it's got that stupid sticker on the back, but looky there. It stars Jigsaw. Yeah. Like, okay. You got me there. Then we have Lake Fear 2. This is the middle movie of the trilogy. I've not actually found the other two yet, so hopefully one day I'll have the complete Lake Fear trilogy. So, sounded interesting, so why not? Then we have a sci-fi monsters classic pack. We have Gamera the Invincible, Night of the Blood Beast, and of course Attack of the Giant Leeches. Yeah. And then we have from Russell McKay, we have Tale of the Mummy. And we have a movie that I've been wanting to see forever, but I've never gotten the chance to see it. We have the collector's edition of Pumpkinhead, directed by the late, great Stan Winston. Now, I think this movie finally did get a collector's edition from Scream Factory, but I have not actually managed to find it. But, with me never been able to see this until now, I can't wait to sit down and watch it. Up next, we have a Jack Nicholson movie, which I have yet to watch yet, but I've been trying to track it down forever. We have Wolf. Yeah, now, I kind of thought that this was going to be kind of somewhat of like a 90s, Wolf Man type of movie or whatever, but, because they were doing Dracula and Frankenstein, so I kind of figured that's what this was. But, sounded interesting, but, why not? It's kind of a horror movie, and it's a werewolf movie. So there you go. Then up next, we have The Disappointments Room with Kate Beckinsale. Hopefully it's not a disappointment. Like I said, it's Kate Beckinsale, though, but come on. It's Celine. Then we have Eli Roth's film debut with Cabin Fever, which is awesome. It has this lenticular slipcover, which is rare because, usually slipcovers go up and down. This one, side to side, which is very different. Then we have up next, from the director of the Godfather trilogy, we have Twixt. Yeah. Sounded interesting. I'm like, hey, for $1, okay. Hell, it even has Val Kilmer in it. It's directed by Francis Ford Coppola. So, okay. Then we have a holiday horror film. We have from director Michael Dougherty. We have Krampus. Yeah, he also directed Trick or Treat, and he also did the Godzilla movie, King of the Monsters, the second film in the MonsterVerse series. Then we have Octavia Spencer in Ma. Yeah, never seen it. I'm like, it's a Blumhouse movie, so, why not? Then we are on the final movies here. Then we have Tim Robbins in Jacob's Ladder, which I have not seen, but it has loads of bonus features on it. So, what can I say? Directed by Adrian Lin, who's known for doing loads of great movies. Then we have Vin Diesel in The Last Witch Hunter. I know it's not really horror per se, but it adds this, what I would call supernatural action. And then, of course, we have the original snapper case of House on Haunted Hill. This is the 90s remake of the original Vincent Price movie. But, hey, I've yet to actually watch this in quite a while. So, yeah. And, yeah, so there we go. Alright, so that completes the first shelf here on the media files. So hope you guys enjoyed that. So stay tuned for parts 4, 5, and of course 6. Yeah. Which those will be shot downstairs in the basement, which is where everything else is. Alrighty, so with that in mind, I've made a giant mess. I've just been trying to get all this stuff out and showing it to everybody. And so, yeah, it's time for me to clean up. Yeah, I'm trying to put everything back on the shelves to where they were. And so with that, take care, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, leave a comment down below. If there's any of these movies that I have mentioned that you guys would like to see me do a review of, just write it down in the comments down below, and I'll, do that for you. Alrighty, so with that, I'll see you.